What's good, everybody? I'm TMX, the Toadman. This is the Toadman Experience. Today, we're going to talk about leaving a hobby, why people get burnt out, and my 5 reasons or ways how to avoid getting burnt out. Now, I've been collecting since 1994, and I can honestly say I've never been burnt out from collecting. Now, I've taken breaks, and there's reasons why all of us should take breaks, right? It could be that your money, your financial situation's changed, your living situation changed, your interest in it has changed, or it could be the fact that you know you're just not into it anymore, or maybe somebody talked you out of it or something. There's always a reason. But the worst reason is to get burnt out, right? We all get burnt out at work because work is supposed to be not fun typically, right? And we usually overwork ourselves and we're not happy with work or whatever. But if you get burnt out on a collectible, on a hobby that is supposed to be something that makes you happy, supposed to take away your stress from work, then really it's either because you either burnt yourself or somebody burnt you. And I'm just trying to avoid that situation for you guys because, like I said, I've never been burnt out collecting, and I'll tell you why and how to avoid it. All right, like I said, since 1995, 1994-ish, I started collecting comic books, and I love comic books. Still collect them to this day. And my first, this is goes with the number one reason or number one way to avoid getting burnt out is I set goals for myself, right? I'm setting out when I was only 9 years old, 8 years old. I just collected whatever my dad got me because my dad would go to 7-Eleven, pick up something, for me in the store. But I just read whatever. And then I just got a bunch of stuff, and there was a bunch of stuff that I didn't like. I didn't like X-Men, so I stopped collecting X-Men. And I eventually set a goal for myself that I was going to collect every single one of the Amazing Spider-Man comics. I don't really collect anything besides that and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just collect keys of Ninja Turtles, and keys are like first appearances, something happened in the story. So I am 30 books away from collecting all. It's about 1,000 issues of Amazing Spider-Man. So I'm pretty close to there. And when I hit that goal, I'll set a new goal. But if you don't set a goal, you're going to be collecting all kinds of stuff. Your house is going to look like a hoarder's house. You're not going to have any focus on what your collection is going to be. It's going to be really hard to kind of narrow down what you're collecting. And then if you're not really into anything that you're like, man, I need to collect this because it goes to my collection, you're just going to have an endless, aimless reason for collecting. And that I see a lot of people in the last 4 years, 5 years, they just collect to collect and they don't have any goals. And then they either run out of money or they run out of interest and they're gone and you don't see them again. How many people, like, we can all name people that are just like that. You see them today, they're gone tomorrow, and you never see them again. That's not going to have longevity in collecting in the hobby. It's not fun that way, honestly. Number two, ways to prevent burnout. Collect what you like. Collect something that makes you happy. When I collect MetaZoo cards, that makes me happy. This art is beautiful. It works on so many levels with me. I love the holo. I love the card. I love the card game. I love the community that it's built. I love comics. I love going to Comic Cons. Comic Cons make me happy. I feel more involved. I feel more of a part of the community at a Comic Con than I've ever felt anywhere else in my life. So, collecting what you like doesn't mean collect everything that you like. It just means don't collect something just to collect it. And it goes again with the setting your goals. Number three, don't worry about the profit. A lot of people they worry about, oh man, this card is gonna be worth something one day, and they hoard all these comics, all these cards. They stack them in their basement, they stack them in their attic, and then they forget about them. They stack them until either they're no longer valued because honestly 99% of cards, comic books, they're going to go to zero. That's just the way it is. It's not meant to be an investment. It's meant to be something enjoyed, and that's it. So a lot of people get burnt out when they buy something like, oh, it's $100 today, it's $2 tomorrow. Don't fall for that. That's an easy way to get burnt out quick. That goes with number four. Find utility in the things that you have. If you have dual reasons to collect, you're more likely to stay with that collection, with that hobby. MetaZoo, I collected it for a little bit. And then UFO came around. It was a set that was not popular, didn't have a lot of hits, didn't have a lot of nice cards, didn't really have appeal to me. And at that point, I was like, do I stop collecting or do I pivot? And I pivoted. I became a player and I love playing the game. And I have a Discord that's MetaZoo, Pennsylvania. And we do a lot of charity events and it grew a whole community. We play a lot of the card games, we play tournaments. We're in a league right now. I did that with um, Digimon, I did that with Dragon Ball Z, I did that with Pokemon, and then, some people move away or you lose that community or, the game changes on you and you just pivot and you go to somewhere else. But if the thing doesn't have utility, if you can't read the comic book and love the story, you just do it for the art and then the art changes, you might be more inclined to quit or get burnt out because it's not what you want. And again, you could collect it for the story, and then the story changes. Just, the authors change, the writers change, the editors change, and it becomes a different story. I I got close to being burnt out with Spider-Man in the late '90s when they did something terrible to Gwen Stacy. They made a character assassination, literally and figuratively, where they had this whole angle where she was in love with the Green Goblin. It didn't make sense, and I quit. I was like, you know what? I'm just not interested. And I pivoted. I started collecting Daredevil. I loved the Daredevil run then. And then once they did another story that I really enjoyed, I started collecting Spider-Man again. And I collected all the back issues that I had missed. But it's good to kind of have multiple reasons to collect what you like. It gives you multiple layers and reasons why you love it so much. And number 5, ways to avoid getting burnt out. Number 5 is don't fall for the hype man. There's so many guys that are like, hey, yo, this is unbelievable. This is the next big card game. You gotta buy into this. Hey, yo, and they'll sell you on something, and they'll sell the ashes of their grandmother if they could, just to make a profit. They'll have a new TCG every single week, and you're like, how can this be sustainable? You're just milking people and milking the same stones, getting the same milk, blood, whatever you want to say, from the same stone. And that's a great way to burn out people so quick because they set their sights. Oh man, I love this art. And then the game is gone next week. Man, what do I have? I can't collect it anymore. You do that enough times, then people are going to be sick of collecting TCGs or whatever it is. You have a new publisher for comic books that comes out all the time. And then the issues end. Like there's like bad idea comic books. And people were all about them. The stories were horrible, in my opinion. Some of them were okay. They came and went so quick, and people kind of got burnt out. They're like, man, I thought this was going to be the next big thing. In actuality, it was just a cash grab in my eyes. So just be very wary of people who take advantage, people who want to hype up just to make a buck. All right, that's my 5 ways to avoid getting burnt out. I hope you don't get burnt out. Like I said, if you want more advice, just reach out to me. TMX Comics on IG, pretty much everything. TMXComics@gmail.com. Reach out to me. Like and follow if you care. And hope you guys have a good night. Love y'all. Peace.